to you from the center of the universe in Lipsick, Wisconsin. It's the Hot Rod Tuesday podcast.
Hi, I'm Ed.
Hi, I'm Bob. We're with the Wisconsin Specialty Vehicle Alliance, dedicated to preserving our right to restore, modify, and drive our specialty vehicles.
And we're listening to Hot Rod Tuesday podcast.
Hi, guys. Welcome to the Hot Rod Tuesday podcast. I am Tom.
Kyle.
And Al.
So we made it to episode 60.
60.
60, yeah. 60 times we've done this.
Pretty fitting considering the number of the guy we have coming on today.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Mark Martin had number 60, the Winn-Dixie car. Won a shit ton of races in the Busch Series with that.
He was number one until Kyle Busch came along.
Yep. Yeah, he's still number one. Yeah,
Oh.
Yeah, I'm just kidding.
He was number 01 for a while.
Yeah. So, yeah, great show lined up tonight. We got Mark Martin, the NASCAR driver, came on the show for us tonight. And then we also have Mark Dietrich, the voice of Great Lakes Dragaway, coming on tonight. So, yeah, you're going to learn a lot about the different marks in our world. So we're just going to...
Yeah, so this show is going to leave a mark.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So, Kyle, what'd you think of judging the pinup contest on Saturday?
Well, usually don't like being too judgmental at these things, but I had to this time, and it was pretty fun. Try to keep no expression on my face. I couldn't be one way or the other.
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah, it was. But it took a little bit to get warmed up, but once I knew what I was looking for and knew what to mark on the sheet, it was all good to go.
It's really fast-paced, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then when I talked to Amy afterwards, she said the sheet Al had last year was harder. So I did have an easier time getting it all done compared to what you had last year at the pinup show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, mine was handwritten because somebody forgot to bring them all. So they hand wrote them in the car on the way there. It all worked out the same, though.
Yeah, I was able to, once I read over the sheet enough times, know what I can mark right away and what I should wait on until they were done. And I got my system down, and it was a pretty fun time.
Yeah, it was a good time. We were able to talk to John Yao Media. Sorry, John, I didn't mean to say that. John Yao Media, and if you don't follow him on Facebook or any of the other socials, you might want to do that. The guy's got a ton of awesome videos out there. He does a lot of bands and car shows and pinups and things like that. And I think you might be able to see something here this upcoming summer with a collaboration between John Yao Media and Hot Rod Tuesday. We're looking forward to that. We talked a little bit, and hopefully that can all come to fruition. And speaking of car shows, we did get a few sponsors for our 2026 season. So I want to thank those guys. The first one stepping up is Jumper at Precision Stripping and Tires from Reeseville. I've known Jumper for, forever.
Jumper's a good guy.
Yeah, I've been known Jumper for, I don't even know, 35 years probably.
No, my whole life.
Yeah. So, yeah, if you need anything, he does media blasting. He has tires up there. He does all sorts of stuff, sandblasting. And just check him out. The other one is going to be Bruce's Classic Restorations, LLC. He's coming back again this year. They sponsored last year. And Bruce is over from that Slinger Metro area. And he does all sorts of stuff between small jobs and full-on frame-off restorations. Did you see the other day on Facebook where he finished that Thunderbird that he was working on? And it was a 58 or 9 Thunderbird, and I'm forgetting it now. But the cool thing about it is he finished it. The guy took delivery of it on November 28th. They started looking through the paperwork of the car. The build date of that car was November 28th of 1958. Then he looked back. The other Thunderbird that he did was also picked up on November 28th of 2015. So, yeah, it was kind of cool to have all three of them on the same date.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Coming back again for the 2026 season is M&S Fabrication from Juneau. Bob, thank you again. We can't thank you enough for all the help that you provide for Hot Rod Tuesday.
Man.
Yes, Bob is the man. And the Dodgeland FFA alumni, they have stepped up this year too, and they're going to help us out with some of the stuff going on. We also have a couple other ones coming in. We're looking at maybe getting better door prizes and things like that. And, just the cost of these things, putting them on, everything's getting more expensive. And, we want to keep the cost low for the people that come there. And, if we get a little bit of help from the people that come to these shows, it's all the better for everybody.
And just reiterate, that does not mean we're going to have an admission price. It's still a free admission.
Yep. It's always, as long as we do this show, it's going to be no admission price. It's going to be selling the drinks as cheap as we can do it, and also having the charity people out there doing the food.
Yep.
So just going through our schedule one more time here. Opening the show, May 5th, Cinco de Mayo, is 3 on the Tree.
It's going to be a good one.
Yeah. If you missed those guys last year, we had a lot of fun. That was probably one of the most fun shows after the show that we've had in a long, long time.
That was a fun post-show.
Oh,
Yeah.
And then on May 19th, we have Wolfman Troy coming in. You've heard him in the podcast a few times over the last few months anyway.
Yep. Yeah, Wolfman Troy comes to us all the way from Muskego.
That'd be his first time at our show.
Yep. And hopefully his brother, Nick the Mechanic, can show up.
And June 2nd, another new act this year is going to be the Del Rays.
Yeah, the Del Rays are out of, I believe, Amro, and their first time here. They're very excited to play here. And it's funny because when I talk to these bands, I get so many that are like, I've always heard about that show. I'd love to play it. Well, here's your chance. And so they're excited to come down here. They've heard a lot about it, haven't been here yet. So we're looking forward to having them play here. June 16th, Hi-Fi Comets will be here. They got rained out in 2025.
Yeah, I think it was the same week of June, wasn't it? Or maybe the week after.
Yeah, somewhere in there, yeah. But they got rained out, and looking forward to that. Those guys are, we watched them play at Motostatic last year, and fantastic. These guys are rockabilly to the core, and looking forward to seeing them.
Then after Back to the 50s weekend, on June 30th, we're back in town with Eric Diamond. Eric Diamond will be his 3rd or 4th year at our show. Always brings in a big crowd, and everybody loves seeing him there.
Yep. He sings that one song, Blue. He sings song. Never mind. That screwed that up.
Sweet Caroline.
Yeah, he's Sweet Caroline, all the other ones. But he, like we've said this before, is he sounds more like Neil Diamond than Neil Diamond sounds like Neil Diamond. And again, the man's an incredible talent and a wonderful human being, and we're proud to have him here at the show.
And then July 14th, we're going to welcome back someone who's been with us from the very beginning, Steve, with the Hits Are It DJ service.
Yeah, Steve was here for the first car show we ever did, and I think he's been there for just about every other one before we started getting to live music. Mm-hmm. And Steve is one of the best DJs, I think, in the, I would say in Wisconsin or even this country. You're not going to find a nicer guy. You're not going to find a more personable guy, and he'll bend over backwards to help you out. So, I mean, if you got a wedding or anything.
He's even hurt his back doing that once, so. Yeah.
If you got a wedding coming up or any other kind of event that would require a DJ, give Steve a call. Just he's on Facebook, Hits Are It DJ service, and be more than happy to help you out. Yeah. And then July 28th, the Incorruptibles are coming back, band out of Milwaukee. I think it's their, 4th year being up here?
Something like that, yeah. But they have been doubled up a lot of years, so it's hard to keep. Maybe their 5th or 6th time coming to see us.
Something like that. August 11th is the Wurlitzer Kings. Wurlitzer Kings has got the steel guitar player of Eddie Rivers. Eddie is, you guys, probably going to be one of the best steel guitar players in the world. Played at the Opry, played with Willie Nelson, played with a bunch of other people.
Yeah, with Asleep at the Wheel for quite a while.
Yep, 16 years at Asleep at the Wheel. And then finishing out the season, August 25th will be the Smoke and Meerkats. And I always look forward to them guys, too. So, yeah, looking forward to 2026. And I want to say thank you to all the sponsors that we gained.
And then just also, Heather from the Sweet Memories Ice Cream said she will be there at every show this year. So those of you who like coming out to just get your ice cream, you won't miss her. She'll be there.
All right. Yeah, well, finally, the restraining order? I'm just kidding. All right. So, yeah, hang on tight. We have got Mark Martin, NASCAR star, coming up next. Okay, guys, here's a night we've all been waiting for. We have a special guest tonight. We have a NASCAR driver with 96 total wins. He had 40 wins in the Cup Series, 49 wins in the Busch Series, and 7 wins in the trucks. We're excited to get to know him a little bit. Welcome to the show, Mark Martin.
Yeah. Hey, guys, it's good to be with you.
Well, once again, appreciate you coming in. You're on here with Al and Kyle. And so we're just going to get right down to it. Now, way back when, before we got on, we started recording here, I talked about when I was a kid, I used to hang out by your shop there, and one of my jobs is to keep your cars clean, okay? I remember one time you blew a motor, and the whole underside of the car was full of oil. Your crew chief at the time, Doug Hahn, he gave me a rag and some lacquer thinner and said, clean the oil off from the bottom of the car. And I think that took me most of the afternoon. But, I'm sure the fumes didn't affect me much at all.
That explains a lot then.
Anyway, so since this is a hot rod podcast, and there are some guys on here that are trying to achieve the next level of bright and shiny, how do you keep your coach so clean? So the reason I ask that is this summer I was going to work and I was going down 151 right by Beaver Dam, and you were coming back home from WIR, I believe, and I saw this coach coming from, half mile away. I was like, I know who that is. How do you keep that thing so impeccably clean?
Just soap and water, really. There's nothing special. Elbow grease is really what it is. It just work, man.
Replace that 12-year-old kid. That's what he did.
But I couldn't believe. I looked at that thing and I thought, oh my God, and that is beautiful. And I did see you got another coach on order too. So, very beautiful.
Yeah, we're doing it again. So this one's going to be all together different. So I'm going to miss my red, but we're moving on.
All right. So my next question for you is, you had a couple years in the early 80s in Winston Cup, and unfortunately that didn't turn out the way you wanted it to, and you ended up back in Wisconsin, raced ASA and ARTGO with the rival brothers in Beaver Dam, and then later on Jerry Gunderman. What was it like to race with guys like Trickle, Shear, Refner, Butch Miller, and a lot of these other guys back then?
Oh, it was epic, man. I mean, I started racing with those guys in 77. So I didn't come to Beaver Dam until 84 to race with the rivals. So,
right.
I'd come up through the ranks and raced with all the greats, Joe Shear and Tom Refner and Dave Watson and Mike Miller, and all the regulars that didn't venture off that far, like Johnny Z and
Sure.
and Al Schill and all those guys. It was just epic. The place to race, if you were serious about pavement late models, was Wisconsin. And so it was 41 years ago. So I have memories of Beaver Dam, but they're spotty. The most thing I remember, I remember the cars, I remember the chassis setups, I remember the springs. I remember that we had an epic, like you were, volunteer team. We raced full-time ASA and full-time ARTGO and all the specials around Wisconsin and all too. So it was just Doug Hahn and myself full-time, and then we had a tremendous amount of volunteers that would come in after work and work. So Doug and I would work all day, get there in the morning, work all day, and then we'd work all night with the volunteer help. So it was a day and night thing, but I remember, I remember my apartment, how cold it was. I moved in up there. I think it was January, and it was like a block of ice. When I got moved in there. So,
That's Wisconsin.
I remember everybody. I don't know if it's still there or not. I remember everybody telling me, "No, go to the Asylum." The bar that was called the Asylum.
The Asylum, yeah.
Is it still there?
Oh, no, that's been gone for quite a long time. I think now it's...
Well, I did it. I went anyway, so it wasn't as bad as they said it was. So.
What is it now?
It's a apartment. It's a senior apartments. No, it's an empty lot now. Across the street was the other one. That was Lightning's Bar. That was senior. That's senior living now. Speaking of bars, there was one outside of town called Lipsick Tavern. Do you have any recognition of that one? Does that name ring a bell?
No, I don't remember that
Okay.
one. That doesn't mean I wasn't there, though.
That's the one my father-in-law owned it's been in my wife's family for over 100 years, so I was just kind of curious. So you mentioned before about your setups and your springs, and you've probably told this story 343 times, and I apologize for making you say it again. What was the story of the car with no right rear spring?
Well, it was prior to left side weight rules. So in 1980, my car had about 62.5% left side weight. And we run, 59% cross weight. And I would leave the shop. I ran a 200 left rear and a 150 right rear. Everywhere we'd go, we'd be loose, but we'd be faster than everybody. It was that new Dillon car that Ray and I designed, coilover, rack and pinion, tubular frame car. And it was a rocket ship. Everywhere I went, I broke the track record, but it was loose. And so I would bring it home and I'd get under it to unhook the strap around the right rear tire on the trailer, and I noticed the spring was loose in there. And I thought, well, it wasn't loose like that. I didn't put that much wedge at the track. I couldn't figure it out. Well, I wasn't smart enough to catch it for a while. And then I figured out, well, that was because the fuel was burned off.
Sure.
If you fueled it back up, it would touch the spring. That's how little pressure it had on that spring. And so, I went to Winchester to test before the Winchester 400, and I had a 500 left rear and a 200 right rear, and it was loose. I had a 1/4 inch of rear stagger is all I had, still loose. I looked under there, the spring was loose, and so I just said, take that spring out. And I went out and I made some slow laps. I sped up a little bit, and then the back end bottomed out, and I figured out, well, I got to put a 700 in the left rear because I just took 200 of total spring out of the back. I needed 700. So I socked that 700 in it, and it hauled, man. That was the deal. But I put a dummy spring on it just so people wouldn't figure it out. And then Bob Strait had a Dillon car and paid me $100 cash to set his car up for the 400 as well. So I sat on the pole, broke the track record by a 1/4 of a second, ran a 1574, and Bob ran a 1604 and was on the outside pole. So everybody was happy. But that was kind of the beginning of it. And then and then after that, I just left the spring off because it was dead weight too. So I was psycho about the weight in the cars. So only having a shock over there, no spring, was really light. Yeah. And we ran it that way until they started making rules on maximum left side weight. And so once we started having to put, move some weight to the right, it didn't work as well.
Okay. Well, you mentioned about losing weight, and I remember this from back then, that you were saying to somebody in the shop that they said, I don't know how much more weight we can get out of this. And you said, if there's no more places we can take a pound, let's find 16 places to take an ounce.
Yeah.
And I helped drill out a bunch of bolts, like drilling the center out of the bolts just to save weight. And that was pretty cool.
I drilled holes in everything you could get your hands on because we didn't have 3D printers or CNC machines or anything like that back then. So, drill bits and hole saws and bloody fingers, man.
Right. So you talked about all these other drivers that you raced with, and I'm going to take this back to day one. Of all the drivers that you raced with, who was the best driver that never made it to the top level, do you think, in your opinion?
Larry Phillips.
I kind of thought you were going to say that. Larry Phillips, I know when we used to get Midwest Racing News way back in the day, Larry Phillips was on just about every single issue that we got, winning everything in sight. Yeah, I would.
Larry was on par, I think, with probably Dale Earnhardt in my eyes. Was as ruthless and as cunning, and he was everything that Dale was. Unbelievably skilled, but he was also pretty darn ruthless.
Okay. All right. And then we talk more about the ASA days, and I'm sorry if I'm spending too much time in ASA, but there's one question that kind of I've been thinking about for quite a while here. ASA used to race at Michigan International Speedway, right? The 2-mile oval, correct?
Yes.
So that was the ASA cars, if I remember correctly, were essentially late models like they would be today. So if we were going to compare them together, that you would take that same ASA car, race it on Slinger on Sunday, and then the next weekend you'd be racing it at Michigan on a 2-mile track. So was there a huge learning curve for these guys to run this late model on such a big track? Or how did that all come about? Why did they stop doing it? That sort of a thing.
Well, the cars weren't really suitable for those racetracks. They also ran at Atlanta, as well.
Okay.
A few races. The cars were okay. You had to take your Slinger car and put a brace in the windshield brace and a few fender braces and a few things like that so the body wouldn't blow off. But they were probably not super duper suited for 2-mile racetracks, but we put on a decent race.
Sure.
It was okay. It just wasn't, it just wasn't spectacular. And probably, if you wanted to know the truth, probably wasn't quite as safe as we really should have been.
That's where I was
too
going
many.
with that.
Yeah, too many of the cars were pretty ratty. We all had decent cars, Trickle and myself and Jim Sauter, and all those guys had nice cars, but they were still half-mile racetrack cars. And I just don't. I think we all knew that everything wasn't really designed to go 200 miles an hour.
I know, it's just something that crossed my mind. I'm like, oh my God, they used to race there. That's crazy.
Yeah.
All right. So here's a question that has been on everybody's mind here lately. NASCAR has been all over the news with the lawsuit and all the other things going on with that. But what I want to talk to you is, you've been a huge proponent of NASCAR going back to the original point scoring system. What are the benefits, you think, of reverting back to the original rules? So, like, no green, white checker, no single file restarts, and no lucky dog, that sort of thing. Where do you see the benefit of that?
I don't really know if you would take all those steps at one time. I think tackling the points system would be what the fans want. I would not speak for myself and speak as loudly as I have, because it's not about me. But I have a tremendous allegiance to the fans who supported the sport and still support it today. But almost everyone that I talk to say, I don't watch it anymore. I don't recognize it. It's not what it used to be. And all of those changes were made to make it more exciting in order to get more people to watch it on TV.
Yeah. And
that hasn't happened. And there's plenty of reasons for that, but the TV ratings have gone down, not up. And I'm not saying they would get any better if they went to full season points, but it has definitely devalued and delegitimized the champion. And there's a possibility for terrible, tragic results. I would say, like in the Xfinity race, with having having that kid, dominate the season and break every record in the book. Yeah, and every record in the book, and not be able to be the champion is just it's a crime. So I think if you go, I don't like double file restarts as a driver, but they're okay to watch. I don't like the green white checkers, but I understand that fans got mad at yellow flag finishes. I think you can talk about a lot of different things, but you have to address the first thing that's staring you in the face, and that's full season points. You can still have a debate over how those points are awarded, but the fans, it's an 80-20 issue. The fans either want full season or a 10-race chase, and only 20% want anything else, a playoffs or anything else. Right. So that's a fact, and I'm going to stand up for the fans.
And then looking at somebody online who did one of these, figured out who the champion would be of the classic point system, and they went all the way up to 2025. Like this year would have been Christopher Bell's second championship in Cup. Kevin Harvick would have had 4 of them. Jimmy Johnson would just have 3. Jeff Gordon would have 7. So there's a lot of things that would have been a lot different if they would have not had the chase. And with me being 34, the last time there was a champion that did not have the chase format being Matt Kenseth, I was only 12 years old at the time. So from the time I was 12 to now, we've had champions more so by luck than season-long consistency.
Yeah. So when you talk about the stage racing, stage racing is fine, but to me, and the NASCAR's going to hate me for saying this, but stage racing is almost like participation trophies. You did good for that part of the race, but, you got to look at the overall picture. And I'm all for bringing it back to the way it was. Single file restarts, 100%. If you want to have that good race. The green-white checker, maybe do it one time, but how many millions of dollars in cars have been wrecked because of green-white checker restarts?
I remember Tony Stewart's interview about that one.
Yeah, I mean, it's something. But
I agree with all that for sure. Yeah. All
right. One other question too. Then you might be able to answer this or not. And so when people go to watch their normal Sunday night racing at Slinger, right? Guy's in the lead, second place car comes up, bumps him, takes him out of the lead. That second place car is typically going to get black flagged, and the third place guy would then win. In NASCAR, the guy can knock the leader out of the way and still get the win. Why is there such a difference between what we see at our local tracks versus what the rules are in NASCAR? Is that basically for TV? Is that because of sponsorship, or is it all of the above?
This, I applaud, this bumping rule, at Slinger or whatever. I get it. I understand why it's there, and I like, but I don't love it. I mean, it works sometimes, but sometimes it's not great. Sometimes there's incidental contact.
No, I'm talking like if you run the guy up and you knock him into the wall to get into the lead, not a bump him to move him over. Yeah. Yeah.
But if you just have a little contact, and unfortunately the guy you have a little bit of contact with, loses control, you go to the back. And sometimes that incidental contact was more caused by the guy that cut the guy off of it.
Oh, sure,
I mean,
sure.
It doesn't always work perfect. It works good enough that's what you need. You need to have that rule, and I'm not against that rule, but you can't have that in big league. You can't have that exact rule in NASCAR. This is national live television. It's worldwide. You just can't be making those balls and strike calls. Okay. It's just
the entertainment factor.
Yep.
Yeah, you just can't do it now. What the Wisconsin rule does is it teaches driving ethics, and that is a good thing. I don't know how you teach driving etiquette in NASCAR in the big leagues. These young guys are coming up, and they're racing a lot of places where that rule is not in effect, and that's commonplace. The bump and run is common,
Right.
and it's not something that I love, but when it's done correctly, it is exciting. And it's something that we can't get around. Unfortunately, when a bump and run goes wrong, it is real disappointing. And I just don't feel like you could have that rule in NASCAR. I think you would have more. There's all these judgment calls,
Sure.
and these guys, they push it so hard.
Yeah.
I mean, they just push every rule to the max.
Okay. Makes sense then when you explain it that way. So I have one last question for you. And so you said publicly that you have no more interest in driving a race car, right? But
Yep.
Is there a type of car or a racetrack or something that you thought would have been fun to race but never had the opportunity?
No, I'm not interested in driving fast. I have basically not spun my tires since 2013.
I'm just talking in general, not that you would do it tomorrow, but did you ever have any desire to run Indy or road racing or anything like that?
No, I've stayed in my lane. I'm a real hyper-focused guy, and I really, really did stay in my lane pretty tightly. I did what I wanted to do. I accomplished a lot. I didn't accomplish everything, but I did accomplish a lot, and I'm proud of what I did. I wish I would have done even more, but nobody worked harder than I did to get everything that I could get. And I left it all on the table, and I'm just living a second life now that is a lot less stressful and
Can imagine.
a lot less frustrating than that life was for 40 years.
So your coach does have the right rear spring on it then, is what you're saying?
Yeah, it's got a airbag. Right there.
Okay. I really appreciate you taking the time to talk.
One more quick one for me then. So with the whole court thing going on right now with the charters, do you think there should be a guaranteed spot for certain teams? Because I always tell Dad, if John Force is able to miss a race for not qualifying, then why can't Chase Elliott?
Yeah, I think guaranteed starting spots are a good thing for, but they always had that. We're always provisionals. So it's just like all these other rules that we discussed, that there's unintended consequences. Like, I like the charter idea. I was one of those guys that had to liquidate my team for 10 cents on a dollar.
Ugh.
I get that.
Yeah.
I understand it. The teams need to own something that's worth something. However, with the way the prize money is split up nowadays, and guaranteed prize money, and 36 spots, and the rest of the spots, nobody wants to run a car because there's not enough. If you didn't have all that guaranteed money and you put it all in the purse, you'd go from 36 cars to 45 cars a weekend again.
Back to how,
And
Yeah.
I'm all for that. I'm for that, but I don't know. There's no answer. I mean, this thing is, these teams are so strong now that you could never go back to saying, we're going to give you all provisionals, but we're going to race for the money. It's all going to be in the purse. It's, the teams have gotten together, and now it's like a union. Mm-hmm. And
Right.
so I'm definitely not defending NASCAR, but I'm going to say that there are things about the charters that I'm not a fan of.
Okay. Fair enough. So, Mark, thank you very, very much for, like I said, for taking the time to talk to us. And I just wanted to let you know that the amount of calls I got from people and texts and Facebook messages and things saying, Mark was my favorite driver. I just want to let you know you still have a huge fan base here in Wisconsin. Al and his son Forrest, here on the podcast with us. They're huge Mark Martin fans, and I'm sure Forrest would be tickled to death if you would say hi to Forrest.
He would.
Yeah.
Well, hi, Forrest. I appreciate you being a huge fan. I love the Wisconsin race fans. I jumped at the chance to be on with you guys because, I never forgot where I came from. And 1984 was one of the most brutal years of my career when I was at the rock bottom trying to come back from a huge NASCAR failure and a bankruptcy down there. And the rivals, gave me a chance, and I got to race a lot in 1984 right there out of Beaver Dam. And I just want everyone to know that they mean a lot to me, and I appreciate it. And I jumped at that chance to be on with you guys.
Well, I'll tell you what, if it wasn't for the things that happened, you wouldn't be where you are today. And I'm, for one, I know you were going through some rough stuff, but for me, I got to go tell my friends that I knew Mark Martin. And, to me, that was the coolest thing.
And I told mine that Mark was at your confirmation party.
Yeah. So, appreciate all that. And so thank you again for taking the time. If you come up to Wisconsin, we're going to come up and say hi. And I'd love to see you again. And if I can, I'll I guess if I have to wax your truck again, I'll do it. But if you blow the motor, you're going to be on your own.
Well, I look forward to seeing you guys next summer or fall. We're going to have a new book out titled Never Lift, and it is my life story. I'm really proud of it. It should be published in the summer, and as soon as it gets published, I'm going to head to Wisconsin and do big book signings because, in my world, Wisconsin is number one. That's where the racing is. That's where the race fans. That's where the foundation of my career was built.
Well, that's pretty cool. And I said we're looking forward to it. We're looking forward to the book. Let us know when the book comes out, and we'll definitely talk about it here on the podcast again. And like I said, we're going to look for you next year, whether it be at Kaukauna, Slinger, wherever you happen to be. We'll try to get up there and meet up with you.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, thank you again,
Mark.
sir.
Thanks, Mark.
Have a great night.
Thank you, guys.
And have a Merry
Enjoyed
Christmas,
it.
sir.
You too.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, thanks.
Bye.
Bye. All right, guys, we have a special guest tonight. If you've been down to Great Lakes Dragaway, you've heard this guy's voice. It's none other than Mark Dietrich, the Great Lakes Dragaway announcer. Welcome to the show, Mark.
Well, welcome. Thank you for having me on the show tonight. It's good to be here.
Well, you know what? It's cold and snowy and garbagey outside. But I think the Great Lakes just closed not that long ago, right? Just with all the snow and everything.
2 weeks. Yeah, it was, I believe, 2 weeks ago, right before the big snowstorm.
Sure. We were talking off air a little bit that you've been at Great Lakes, you said, for like 22 years or something like that, which is quite a long time. Mm-hmm. And anybody that was at Great Lakes Dragway years back would remember Broadway Bob. Now, I met him a couple times, never really talked to him or anything like that, but just said hi to him. But when I worked, I had the screensaver on my computer at work was Broadway Bob sitting on the front end of the Green Mamba holding up a beer while the thing's shooting flames out the back.
Classic.
So the man was probably the best promoter in all of motorsports, arguably. What's your take and what's your thoughts on Broadway Bob as far as, what kind of legacy did he leave or what kind of stories you have about Broadway Bob? Let's just give this next couple minutes to him.
Oh, boy. Well, I miss the guy a lot. When I first started working there, he still had the store set up. And I think it was Wednesday nights. If it was really slow, I'd kind of wander over there and talk to him every once in a while and got to know him pretty well, helped him out with stuff.
Sure.
We'd go back and forth to his house. He was always buying up stuff at rummage sales to put in the stores. He had like all this weird crap in there.
He did. That was the one right behind the grandstand, correct?
Yeah, that was the old bar.
Okay.
Yeah. He it was a different experience with Bob. And I had first met him, I was probably 22 or 23 years old. I was in the Mopar Club, and we had a car show, an all Mopar car show. And all of a sudden, this guy pulls up driving a red Caprice, convertible.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at him like, who the hell is this guy? He's at a Mopar show. He's driving a Chevy. I didn't know it was him.
Right.
And he came out, he got out of the car and he started talking to people and came up to me and, I introduced myself to him. I didn't think much of it. And then I think it was when I started working at the racetrack, I saw him again. And he remembered my name.
Really?
After I don't know how many years. It was the weirdest thing.
Well,
Yeah.
that's cool. Well, you made an impact somewhere or another.
I guess. It was weird. But, yeah, he was a unique guy, I'll tell you what.
Well, he had a love for that place that I don't think there's anybody that could match the love that man had for that racetrack. And maybe it wasn't so much the place; it was the overall feel of that place. Between all the drivers that have been there, all the different things like that. But man, he was a promoter and a half.
He was, and he wasn't afraid to talk to people.
Right.
Everybody was his friend. That was his favorite phrase. How you doing, my friend?
Yes, yep, very much so. Al, do you want to share your Broadway Bob story? Because I think that is kind of a fun one with Forrest.
Oh, I took my son down to Great Lakes to one of his very first drag races, and we were in the bleachers there, and we were right up near where the cars stage, and there's this little fence between the return lane and the staging area, and Bob was hanging out there by the fence, and some guys in the bleachers were calling his name, trying to get his attention. Bob turned around, looked at these guys, and they're showing him a beer, and Bob's waving like, yeah, toss it. And they chucked this beer can out to him. Well, Bob missed it, and it hit the top of the fence, and his beer is spraying all over the place. It was great.
Yeah.
My son says, who is that guy? And I says, that's Broadway Bob. This is his track.
Yeah.
He's the only guy I ever saw sit on the nose of a jet with a beer in his hand.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that was. Yeah. So, with the jet cars, and this wasn't even a question I was going to ask you, so I'm going to put you on the spot with this one. Is it a real fear that the jets are going to burn the tower down, or is that just a lot of? Is that just you just building excitement? Because I know at one time that the tower did actually catch on fire.
I thought it did, yeah.
Yeah, but
It's I can say I've been in the tower about 5 times when it's been on fire. We're the last ones to go down with the ship. It's always everybody else out, then the announcers are the last ones, and if the fire's out, we stay.
I can't imagine how loud that's got to be in there. Be right behind them things.
Believe it or not, it's quiet.
Really?
Because you're in a pretty much enclosed building. The tower has burned to the ground, I believe, 2 times.
Okay, so I take my question back.
But it's and the one time it happened, I remember I heard a story about it. It burned down completely, and they built it back within a week. They had it built completely in an exact replica.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So, going back to the history of Great Lakes Dragaway, and I don't know how many people know this, but the track actually started out as a 4-lane track, if I'm correct, right?
Yes.
So do you know about what time it would have went to just a plain 2-lane?
No, I don't know that.
Probably like in the 60s sometime, I would assume.
I would think, because I know Byron was a 4-lane also.
Yep. And it was, and it is the oldest operating drag strip in America, if I read correctly.
Yes.
Sure, we can say it. We got like 12 listeners. We'll be okay.
Yeah.
And continuously operating. We haven't shut down at all for anything.
Right. And that's another thing I don't think people know about. They know about the big shows. They know about the Nitro Streetcar Brawls, and they know about the one in the end of June, and it just
out of sight
drags. Yeah, they know about all the big ones, but there's racing there like almost every night of the week. And you just got to check out the schedule. I mean, we went down there a couple times, just the middle of the week, just to watch these guys test and tune and things like that. It's amazing what you're going to see when you get down there.
And one of the claims to fame that we have is we're open more than any other drag strip in the world.
Sure.
And it's 6 days a week,
Yeah.
Tuesday through Sunday, weather permitting, from April to November.
Right. And, you talk about the people that have raced there. You've had Garlitz, you've had Force. I mean, all the big names, Shirley Muldowney, Connie Coletta, the Greek, who my son Kyle just told me turned 94 this year and was running a top fuel car up until, 3 years ago?
Right.
Yeah.
But, I mean, there's been so much history in that place.
One of the last times the Greek ran there, he was racing against Zizzo. And I was there that night. I worked earlier in the day, and then I went down and I was taking pictures. And I was in the water box next to the Greek's car. He did his burnout, and the vibration from his car doing a burnout broke my cheap little digital camera.
I tell people about that all the time, about what it's like to be by a top fuel car, or any fuel car for that matter. We used to do the bus trips down to Chicago with Wisconsin Street Rod Association. Mm-hmm. So we had a second bus that came out of here. We're up by Beaver Dam, right? So we had a second bus that would go down, and I was telling these people what it was like and how much power these cars had. And everybody just kind of went, yeah, whatever. And I was like, you really want to have earplugs and hold on to your drink. Why?
Yes.
It's like, because your drink's going to tip over because of the earthquake. What earthquake? So then we would watch them. You get the snarky ones. They're like, I don't have to wear hearing aid or earplugs or anything like that. Right. Well, on the hit, and then holy crap, they're grabbing on for stuff and they're crying and screaming, and it's like that's why you need earplugs. But yeah, so we just got done talking about all the people that have raced there, and the epic events that have happened there. What is your most memorable event up there in that tower? Do you have like a race? Do you have a situation that you went to, or that you had that you'll never forget?
Oh boy, there's been so many. I suppose one of the coolest, the year we had our, I think it was the 50th anniversary. Garlitz was there, and he had one of the Swamp Rat cars, one of the old ones.
Yep.
And I forget what number car it was, but he ran the car down the track, and apparently this was something he did at different tracks. I didn't know he did it this way, but he ran it in the right lane down the paint. He was in the marbles off of the starting line.
Really? And
the reason he did that is because the traction compound that's on the track, the glue on the surface, they didn't have that back in the 60s, and his car wasn't built for that. It was, it had
so you'd have blew the rear
hard
end
tires.
Out of it. Yeah.
Right. It had hard tires that had to spin, so he did a big smoke show right down through the paint, and it was the coolest thing to see, and I got to announce it.
Nice.
Yeah, Garlitz himself is a class act. I would love to get him on the podcast, but I know he's got a bunch of hearing issues and everything like that. But man, just to think of the history that man has seen, the places that they've gone,
Oh man, yeah, and I was fortunate that same event. I got to talk to him for about 20 minutes, and we talked about his old days, back with the front engine cars, and
sure,
his eyes lit up, and he, there was a spark in his eye again, and he was transported back. It was really cool.
Yeah, it's really neat when you can get those guys to talk about that stuff. We talked earlier about Arnie Beswick, and the amount of times that man's been down that racetrack too. And,
oh man,
and still he's another one that you can walk up to and talk to him, and he'll talk to you all afternoon if you want to. I mean, he'll tell you all the stories about way back when, and like I told you off air, he told me the story about how his car crashed in that one night. He says it kind of rained and it didn't rain, and he said the steam on the inside of the car fogged up his window and he couldn't see where he was going, and things like that.
He told me a story once at the Grove. He was going down the track, and his steering wheel came off.
Oh, jeez.
And he was driving, the late model tameless Tiger, the later car,
Sure.
one that he puts on display now.
Yep.
And the wheel came off, and he's like, "Oh crap, what do I do?" And he was on a run, and he was doing good, so he just stayed in it. And he's like, "I'm doing this, and if he would have lifted, the car would have turned, and he knew that. So he stayed in it, and he made his run, and then I think he finally got the steering wheel reattached in the shutdown area."
I bet it was nothing but assholes and elbows there for a couple minutes trying to get that together. And there's a couple other things about most memorable moments. There's and we can put this rumor to bed right now. Was there a jet car that blew through the shutdown and crashed in a cornfield across the street? Is that really something that happened?
It is, and I believe another one that was. For some reason, I thought it was Garlitz who did that.
Okay, I heard it was a jet car, but yeah.
He went over KR, hit a Nash Rambler, and he ended up in the hospital next to the guy driving the Nash.
Imagine that conversation.
Yeah.
Look, I'm just thinking about the poor guy in a Nash Rambler just putting his way down KR and seeing a dragster flying at him at 150 miles an hour.
Right?
That'll make a guy's butt slam shut.
It's happened a few times. There's been cars over the highway more than once, but I don't know how many times. That was a long time ago.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I mean, now you got so many different stopgaps in place to keep that from happening. But, well, good. I always thought that was probably a bullshit story that I heard from all different people that were out there. And, everybody's got their own story about what they saw when they're at Great Lakes Dragaway. And, I don't know if he's listening too, but I got to share this one story, if you don't mind. He was oh my God, I'm drawing a blank on his name. He was a president of the Chicago Wise Guys.
Pete Demos.
Yeah, Pete Demos. So I took my brother down there. My brother's got Down syndrome, right? And we went down there, and Pete was the most gracious, wonderful person to work with Tony. He took Tony in the trailer. He showed him all the cars and stuff, and he just thought that was the greatest thing. Gave him a T-shirt. I mean, it was just so cool to see the way that he treated him. And not only Pete was the one that went over and above, but everybody, went out of their way to talk to Tony and showed him their car and offered for him to sit in the car and things like that. And
Did they bring him on the starting line?
They didn't bring him on the starting line, no. But he was. This was back in the pit area.
Okay.
But yeah, we were in the trailer, and it was just a wonderful experience. And I have never yet had a bad experience at Great Lakes Dragaway. And I would hope, it's a little bit of a haul for us for up here, but it is well worth it. The stuff you get to see when you're down there.
You never know what's going to show up. I came into work one day. It was late October, and the Saxon Martin 71 Cuda was there doing a photo shoot on the starting line.
Oh my God.
Like the car. It was restored, and it had a half-running Hemi in it, but it was the car. Wow. And all the hair on my neck went up. It was wild to see that thing. The
hair's up on my arms right now. But, I mean, you think, like I said, here again, the history of that place. And Grumpy Jenkins, Grumpy Jenkins, years ago, he had somebody must have had his car or something at World of Wheels. And he about knocked me over walking through the crowd. And I knew it was him right away, and I just kind of laughed, like, wow, that's pretty cool. But, just the history of that place, and to know that you can sit in these places and you get to see where,
all these big names used to go, right?
Where Garlitz and Muldowney had the big showdown that was on every TV across the country. And, and I got to tell you one thing. If there's any drivers that are listening, fans love dry hops. Don't stop, please.
I will vouch for that. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And burn downs are my favorite too. Burn downs and dry hops, you can't beat them.
Yes.
But anyway, we're going to talk a little bit about Great Lakes Dragaway future. What's the future hold for Great Lakes Dragaway? What do we got on tap for 26? If you know anything, can you give us a little bit of insight on that?
Well, the season's going ahead as planned. The dates are set for some of the events already. Out of sight drags. I don't have the flyer with me. I don't have the event dates.
Yeah, it'll be the last weekend of June. Yep, Friday, Saturday of June.
Probably, you're right.
Yep.
And if you go on the Facebook page, I think some of the dates are posted already, but season passes are available. If you want to go down to the track, the general store is open on the weekends.
Okay.
On Saturdays, I would suggest if you want to go, call ahead to make sure somebody's there, but it should be open. You can get T-shirts and all kinds of goodies, but all the major events, Wisconsin Outlaw Street will be happening. The big Labor Day show, the Memorial Day show.
Right. Pro E85 has got to be one of the classes that I love to watch.
Those guys are great.
Yeah. And they're great people, too. But yeah, and one other thing too that we can talk about, when you got the big shows, the food there is ridiculous. I don't know. You'd be hard pressed to find a racetrack out there that's got better food than Great Lakes Dragaway.
Yeah, and that goes back to Johnny Midnight, and he had been there forever, and his daughter's carrying on the whole thing,
okay.
And they. Plus our concession stand.
Right.
Amazing stuff going on there all the time. Everything's fresh. Every once in a while, we got different food trucks that come in as well for different events.
Right.
Import races and stuff like that.
Yep. But yeah, so people got to get out there. We got to check this place out. And I'm going to try to get down. Well, I'm going to get down there. We're going to probably try to do some live video from there this summer. And if it's okay with you, sir, I'd like to come up and meet you and talk to you in person. And
you're more than welcome. And I'll tell you in advance, my two favorite nights, the nights I work, Wednesday nights are ladies' night.
Oh.
So there's a special ladies race. There's a trophy race that goes on for the ladies.
Okay.
And then Thursday nights, they call it Sticky Thursday. It's like slicks only, slicks and drag radials. A lot of fast cars show up.
Okay.
The track's prepped, for horsepower.
Sure.
And it's some awesome stuff that comes out.
So when we say fast cars, and let's just use the Wise Guys for an example, what can people expect to see when the Chicago Wise Guys are on a track? What speeds? What ETs? What are we talking here?
Well, you're looking at I'd say even into the low 8s, going all the way down into the mid 6s. 220 possibly, right around there.
Yeah, it's amazing.
They're pro mods, basically pro mods.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is amazing. Like I said, you guys get a chance, get down to the Great Lakes Dragaway, and you can find it on the internet. You can find them on Facebook. You can find them everywhere. But make sure you check out Great Lakes Dragaway, and you're going to enjoy our buddy Mark up there. Mark keeps the races interesting, keeps it fun, and very entertaining. So thank you, Mark, for being on the show, and hopefully we'll get a chance to talk to you this summer.
Sounds good, and thank you. Thanks for the opportunity. It was an awesome time, man. It was a good show.
Cool. Well, we're looking forward to seeing you this summer, and like I said, we'll get to a live video interview once, and I'm looking forward to it. So, yeah, we'll see you this summer, sir.
All right, sounds good. You guys take it easy.
All right, thanks,
All right,
Mark. Have a good night.
Thank you. You too.
All right, bye.
Bye-bye.
And now it's time for Kyle's thing. Kyle, you got some history for us?
Well, I'm going to do a little bit different this week because Sunday was 84 years since the bombing of Pearl Harbor.
Right.
And then thinking about that, if, like your dad, my grandpa was there on Ford Island during the attack.
Yep.
So we were just probably just yards away from never having a Hot Rod Tuesday.
Yeah, he talked about a Japanese pilot doing a strafing run, and he said he looked up and he could see the little son of a bitch smile at him, and that was his words. And, that kind of stuck with me, and he died. He's been dead for, what, 30?
No, a little more than a year than I.
35
before
years?
A year that I was born.
Yeah,
a little
35 years I think he's been dead.
Okay.
And I think it was probably, I don't know, the 60th anniversary of Pearl Harbor, or 65th. They had a special on, and they were talking to a nurse who was on Ford Island at the time, too, and she talked about a Japanese pilot on a strafing run, and he said he had such a big grin on his face. Well, Dad said the same thing, a little different verbiage. But, you think about that, and, if them bullets would have landed different one way or the other, like I said, I wouldn't be sitting here, neither would Kyle, and none of this would be happening. So I guess that's a chance for us to take a moment again and thank all the veterans for doing what they did. Especially those World War II guys. There's not very many of them left. And then
I was thinking the same thing of my great grandpa on the other side of the family.
Right.
If we would have invaded Japan the way they were originally going to, I might not be here either.
Right. Yep. And he was a Marine in World War II. And I don't care who you are. Marines today are tough. But the Marines back then were the toughest sons of bitches in the world. You had John Basilone, who got the Medal of Honor in Guadalcanal for pulling the Japanese bodies down because they're piled up so high and couldn't clear the machine gun fire.
Yeah,
I mean, there's so many different things that these guys did, but yeah. So yeah, my dad was there in Pearl Harbor. He was assigned to a ship that was in the North Lock called the Medusa. He was an aviation metalsmith that worked on the Medusa, and then he worked on seaplanes. That was his job, was to repair damage on seaplanes. And the Medusa was in the North Lock. And then, Kyle, you know what the Medusa was famous for, right?
No, what's that?
In Pearl Harbor during the attack. So the Medusa was the one that took out the Japanese mini-sub that was coming into Pearl Harbor. And that was basically the start of the whole attack, because they got that. They took that submarine out before the planes even got there. And then after the submarine was taken out, that's when all hell broke loose and all the planes came in. And, if you've never been there, or if you've ever been to Pearl Harbor, which I've been there a couple times, you look at the place and you think, man, there is just no way something like this could happen here. It's so peaceful, so quiet. I mean, even with all the Navy ships that are there, and it just is, it's so peaceful, and it's such a beautiful place. You just can't imagine the death and destruction and the shit these guys went through.
About 2,000 dead, another 1,500 or so injured.
Yep. And we were on the over the top of the Arizona. The first time I went, there was a Japanese couple there, and she was taking pictures in a bikini, and I kept standing between them. And no. And he kind of got mad, and he told the park ranger on me, and I don't give a shit. He's not making a mockery out of our cemetery.
Yeah, there's still 900 people that are down there.
Yeah.
The ones that never got out during the attack, and I know there's some vets whose remains got placed down there by a diver.
Right. Yep. So, anyway, yeah, that's our history. So, we had a pretty strong tie to Pearl Harbor, and, and for all those guys that went through that, guys and girls, I guess, that went through that. So, thank you very much.
Yeah, that's one of the 2 days in the school year where I postpone my regular lessons and talk about the events of the day.
Yep.
So that and 9/11 are the two where I'll postpone whatever I'm doing and just talk about those topics for the day.
Right. And the other part that I don't want to miss out on is, Dad was sleeping off a drunk, and he said the whole world started exploding around him, and wearing his white uniform, he said they ended up dumping coffee on their uniforms to have some sort of camouflage, and found rifles from somewhere, so they're shooting probably M1s or whatever. Bolt action rifles at these planes as they're going around. He said they just, it's like just getting their ass kicked 7 ways to Sunday, and didn't know which way to turn. So yeah, it was quite an emotional day, and my dad had some rough days because of that stuff, and I now I've learned to cut him a little bit of slack with some of the stuff that he endured back then. So anyway. Sorry it wasn't all car related, but, we just want to make sure that people never forget the history and understand the sacrifices that make this world or this country as great as it is.
Well said.
Coming up next will be The Buzz with Beth. Coming to us from the Sussex Bowl in Sussex-Villeburg, Wisconsin is Hot Rod Beth.
Sussexvilleburg. I love it. I love it.
You know, it's lucky they
Yes.
named that city Sussex, because otherwise, if they named it Cereal, you'd be working at the cereal bowl right now.
Oh my God, that would not be a good thing, would it?
No.
That would not be a good thing. Anyways, what's going
Or
on? You
if it
guys
was in
doing
Kohler,
good?
the Kohler Bowl would be even pretty bad too.
The Kohler Bowl. Yeah, that would be terrible too.
Oh my gosh, you guys.
Yeah. So
You guys.
So what did you think of the Miss Holidays pageant that we all were at?
Oh my God, Miss Holidays, that was really a lot of fun. It's a shame that we didn't have a few more folks there. But
Yes.
next year, we're going to push it out there like
Yes.
it's going out of style.
Yep.
And my bestie, well, one of my besties, I should say,
Yep.
Wendy Crowley, Miss Chaos, took second place, so I was pretty pleased with
Yeah,
that.
she did really good.
Yeah.
Probably the best costume that was there that night.
She was the one that
Yeah,
looked like a
she-
Christmas tree.
Yeah, she had the wooden ornaments all over. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she did great. I got 2 ornaments off her dress, too, so... I was trying to, keep Al away from her because who knows what he would have done.
You would have been barking up the wrong tree.
Yes, exactly. Oh, ding, 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 ding. No, actually, it was really good. The food was good. The drinks were reasonable. It was really a lot of fun. And I got to hang out with you guys, which that doesn't happen very often, so I was
No.
thrilled.
You say that, really? Or are you just saying that now?
She's just saying that.
Oh, I'm being honest. Come on, I can't even believe you'd say that.
No. I had so much fun because I could look at the stage one way and I'd turn and look at Al the other way. And either way, it was just as equally as entertaining, especially after you got there and then you two are going back and forth like, my God. Yeah, it was fun.
It was a lot of fun. It really was. Like I said, I don't get to hang out with you guys that much. So whenever I have the chance, I like to do it. Anyways, don't go down that road, Al.
As soon as you said that, he
You
perked
should have
right
seen
up.
the looks I got from these guys.
I can imagine. That's
Not
why
only
I
did he
said
go-
it right away.
Not did he go down that road, he parked and waited for you is what he did.
Wow.
All right.
Well, but no, I've got a couple things happening on my side here at Sussex Bowl, but that's not until January.
Okay.
Nothing's happening in December. I mean, when you look on Wisconsin motor events, there's nothing. I think we're clear through Christmas for a while and New Year's.
Yeah, but
just work on your cars, Al. You know what that means? Work on your car. No, maybe not.
Yeah, so you
Sorry,
know,
just had-
but that just gives everybody one more chance to get out there and enjoy the chicken at the Sussex Bowl. Now we are saying that completely for free. There's no monetary anything. There's no sponsorship. There's no nothing. We enjoy the chicken that damn much because that chicken is phenomenal.
Yeah, we're due to go back down there again, I think.
Yeah, we should probably try to make it down there again because.
Oh, I'm liking what I'm hearing here.
Yeah.
I think Danny wants to come too. The next time he said,
Yeah.
Oh, he's there too, huh?
Yeah, he hasn't had your chicken yet, so.
Oh my gosh, he's going to be hooked.
Yeah.
Hooked on chicken.
It's on his
Instead of
bucket
phonics.
list, yeah.
Chicken's on a bucket list.
Bucket of chicken, yeah.
He's a funny guy. Well, anyways, let me tell you about what we've got going on. And I'm hoping, Tom, on January 10th, that maybe you might be able to sneak some of these guys out and come out and do our chili bowl with us. It is on a Saturday from 12 to 3, so I don't know if that's feasible or not. But Danny and the others could come down and we could take pictures for you.
We'll see what we can come up
chili
with.
bowl. You got to bring a pint of chili, either hot or mild, to put into the chili dump. It's going to be $5 a game. There's going to be all kinds of activities going on. People will be bowling with ramps. They're going to be bowling backwards, left-handed, right-handed. We got all kinds of stuff happening for us that way. So
There you go,
that
Al.
should be a
Left-handed
lot of
bowling.
fun.
Right up your alley. No,
Yeah.
I guess right up your
Ah.
alley, but
I
I
like
didn't mean
it.
that one.
Are you a lefty?
I sure am.
That's why you ain't
boy,
right.
That's right. That's correct. Then I can't stand it. January 25th, we're doing a toy show and swap meet here at the Sussex Bowl from 9 until noon. Free admission. If you want to be a vendor, you can check on Sussex Bowl's site. I'll have it up by this week. You can pay the guys, it's $25 for a table to come swap your model car stuff. And it's just another chance to get out with the kids and have some fun. Why is he giggling? I'm afraid to ask. Are you touching yourself again?
No.
You should have said yet.
No, he's not.
He was just scooting on his chair and making some
Just keep talking.
fun noises.
Yeah.
I'll talk dirty to you later.
Oh, good Lord. Here we go. So I guess that brings us to the favorite part of the show. The shit that Al says. Al, what do you got for us this week?
I have been working on a public service that for Hot Rod Tuesday. I mean, we should give back to the hot rod community, right? So I had to write this down so I get it right. Here goes. Please don't drink and drive during Christmas and New Year. If you want to drive safely, Hot Rod Tuesday can help for free.
I'll take you home. Kitty.
Call or email us at least 2 days in advance so that we can arrange to have a team of experienced people who can help. We will come and drink for you so you can drive home safely.
That is so kind of you.
I thought so.
You know, and then you got the other thing too. All these guys are going to be out there drinking and letting their wives drive home. Oh God.
Oh, that's a good idea too. They get to drive their cars.
Yeah. Yeah.
Women drivers gotta like us.
Not really.
Hey, now. Be careful with that.
Yeah, that's fine.
So, anyways, I'm hoping everyone has a wonderful holiday. We only got, today's already the 9th. Can you believe it?
Yep.
Man.
Yep. A couple more weeks and then we can don our gay apparel. I'm getting excited.
Right.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, my gosh. You have gay apparel?
He has a whole Elton John costume. Sometimes he wears the glasses around the house. It's like,
Yeah,
Oh,
sometimes.
really?
Stop.
I can't
Yeah.
wait to see it. Can we put that on the podcast
yeah, I'll
for a
ask
video?
my friend ChatGPT. We'll get a video of that.
Yeah.
I like it. I like it.
No, I
I
won't do
like
that.
it a lot. Well, let's plan a time for you to come on down and have some chicken. Bring Danny with you,
Okay.
and we'll do a live from here or however it works.
Sure. We can do that. But
Otherwise, get in the garage, sit in your car, love her up, give her lots of pets or whatever you're going to do to that car. Just ask.
Al's got blood
who will
running
buy
down
ya.
his cheek because he's biting his tongue so hard right now.
I think Beth has been drinking more than we have.
Yeah, I think so.
I did start earlier, just so you know.
Atta girl.
Can't
Why?
tell.
Why? Because I can.
All right.
Yeah, I had my first water at breakfast today, so I'm with you.
All
I need to
right.
get you out, Kyle.
So before we wrap everything up, I want to say thank you to all the listeners. Remember that we do the show for you. Contact us with any questions or comments about what you would like us to talk about in any upcoming shows. New for this week, you can call or text us at 920-306-1411. 920-306-1411. Texting would be best. Or email us at hotrodtuesdaypodcast@gmail.com.
Oh, and you know what? If they want to sign up for the bowling thing, they can call me too. Everyone's got my number, 608-575-8786. $5 a person. Give me a call.
Perfect. So that'll be it for this episode of the Hot Rod Tuesday podcast. Thanks for tuning in. Remember, if you like the show, if you love the show, be sure to like, subscribe, and share it with your friends. We'll talk next week, Tuesday.
Thanks
All
for
right,
listening
take care,
to the
everybody.
Hot Rod Tuesday podcast.